this session is a collaboration between Innovate for Change, which is our organization that empower young minds to be creative and to think and act boldly. Basically, with our project and workshops, we want to drive positive change. And also with our gift certified school, which is Prince of Peace Integrated School, a K-12 school in the Philippines. So here's our poster for Flavors of Innovation, and it's going to be a session that will highlight foods that combine cultural traditions and nutrition. So our main feature is Kinako Crunch, which is a product made by Allyra, Troy, and Sam. However, we also have some presenters who will give us more recipes, more food ideas that also align with the UN SDGs. How so? Because it promotes zero hunger, it promotes good health, it promotes nutrition and even sustainability in different ways. So we registered it under the YouthMADE Festival, which is an international festival for all things that are creative and innovative, that are student-led projects. So I know that you all worked hard for your presentations and your food innovation ideas. So let me just quickly go through the posters that we have for you. So first up is Kinako Crunch. And this was actually, and this project was submitted to the Shena Solutions Challenge Sustainability Award. And this is an emergency food aid. So that's their product. And then we have the Sustainable Pancit by Nicole Haragutchi. So she's made this innovation for this favorite food from the Philippines. And then we have potato pizza, a new take on more nutritious take on pizza by Tywin. And an interesting tomato roll-ups recipe from Philip Laksa. This is a food innovation idea, and we're going to hear more about it later. And healthy tofu okoy, again, a very Filipino type of food, but with a healthy twist because it's made from tofu. And lastly, we have the vegetarian caldereta. Again, caldereta, usually in the Philippines, is made from beef, sometimes even from goat meat, but this one is vegetarian. So another healthy twist to this Filipino favorite food. So first of all, before we have people start to present their projects and their recipes, I just want to ask whoever wants to speak and jump in. I want to ask you, how did you come up with your food idea? Like, why did you choose that food idea or that recipe?
So the reason why I chose this idea was basically because I believe that being healthy is important, and without being healthy, we'd get sick and you wouldn't have good health. And also, I've always wanted to try making a pizza out of potatoes.
Interesting. I'm sure we're gonna really like that recipe. Why did you choose your recipe?
So I'll just add that Nicole chose the canton, the Pancit canton, because it's basically part of her heritage. And this is something that really touched her, because this is something that she was having since she was very little, because her mother is Filipina. I'm sorry she couldn't be here, but yesterday was a really tough day for her.
Understand. I know she's been going to different events back to back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's wonderful. You can just help us share this innovation
Okay.
with the audience. Who else wants to give us an insight on why they chose that food idea?
Okay, so I chose my food idea and why it's specifically a biscuit because first of all, I'm good at making cookies, so it was easy for me to come up with a recipe. And second, it also fit best with what we needed for our innovation because it can have a long shelf life and can have a lot of substance.
Thank you, Allyra. So I'm really excited to see what you have to share. First of all, I want to call on our makers of Kinako Crunch so that you could present the background of this food idea first. So are you ready to share your screen, Allyra?
All right. Um, sure.
What if, during tough times, every bite gave people strength and hope?
That's what inspired us. We saw the Philippine government healthier food aid, and we thought, what if we could help too? So we reimagined what emergency food could look like.
And that's how Kinako Crunch was born. I am Troy.
I am Allyra,
I'm Sam.
and we present to you Kinako Crunch. So, what exactly is Kinako Crunch?
It's a tasty, nutritious, and affordable cookie made of roasted soy flour, also known as Kinako, whole wheat, and crushed moringa, though in the Philippines it's more commonly known as malunggay. So it's a good balance of carbs, protein, and fiber.
Making it great for everyday snacking. And it also works as an emergency meal ready to eat. In the Philippines, natural disasters can leave families without food for days. And even when relief food finally arrives, it's often lacking in nutrients. That's why we built this project. Right, Troy?
Yep. In many rural areas in Philippines, people face flash floods that leave them stranded. And when that happens, food kind of gets hard to access.
We've seen in the news that there are efforts to improve this, but we knew there was still room to help. What's needed is a food that's not just available, but nutritious, affordable, and easy to carry, especially in emergencies.
With this idea in mind, we joined the Siena Solutions Challenge, a global competition that encourages students to solve real world problems in their communities while supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
And that's when we said, let's turn Kinako Crunch into something real.
We started experimenting. We used the basic cookie recipe, but swapped out ingredients to make it healthier and longer lasting.
We used whole wheat flour for fiber, soy flour for protein, coconut oil to boost shelf life, and crushed malunggay for vitamins and minerals.
Once we had a version we liked, we gave out samples to our friends from badminton and collected feedback through a survey. And so far, people really like the taste and how it looked. The make suggestion, make it crunchier.
And now, drum roll please.
We present to you the crunch. So, tell me, Sam, why crunch the Kinako?
Why? Because Kinako Crunch actually fills a gap in the market. It's high in protein and packed with malunggay, budget friendly for low income families, and it's very versatile. It's great for daily snacking or emergency relief.
So, Kinako Crunch isn't just a snack, we made it to be really flexible for different needs.
Yeah, one of our goals was to introduce it into schools. It gives students a healthier snack option and it's easy to pack or serve. And since it's affordable, it's also a great option for communities that might not have access to nutritious food regularly. During emergencies, it works as a light meal that's still refilling and comforting.
And to really make this work on a bigger scale, we knew we couldn't do it alone. That's why we're planning to grow this project by teaming up with two awesome groups.
Angat Buhay, they tackle a ton of community issues like public education, climate action, disaster relief, and nutrition.
And Tailored Food, who create affordable, nutritious, and locally sourced meals. Perfect partners for Kinako Crunch.
But Kinako Crunch didn't always start this way. At first, we tried making a rice puff, but it was bulky and not that filling. Then we thought, what about a sweet potato bar? But then it had a short shelf life. We finally landed on this cookie idea because baking is something we know. And we figured if we could make it taste good and do good, then we were onto something.
Plus, we were really inspired by other food innovators, and it helped us see just how powerful nutrition can be during crisis.
Food insecurity is a massive challenge, but not an impossible one.
If we're serious about ending hunger by 2030, the time to act is now. It's never too late to start making better choices.
Mistakes only happen when we stop trying to fix them. That's why we're asking for your support, because real change happens when we lift each other up.
And thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you so much. Can you stop sharing your screen? Okay, we'll do questions later. We'll give everyone a chance to present first. Okay, so actually they have a video of how they make the food, but I think we'll reserve that for our finale because I'm really excited also, and I'm sure you are to see the other foods that are being presented today. And our next presenter will be about the sustainable pancit.
I'm sharing a presentation here from Nicole. This is a work that she has done together with the Tagaytay City Special Education Center. This is a school for students with special needs. So this was an interesting solution that they basically came up together, and she has been working with this school for quite a long time. So let me share the screen.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Haragutchi. I'm from St. Augustine, Florida in the United States. I would like to talk to you about a very traditional Filipino dish, the pancit, but with a twist. It is a sustainable pancit. For credit's purpose, I would like to let you know that this work was done in partnership with 4 students from the Tagaytay City Special Education Center, a school for students with special needs in the Philippines. So why do I say this is a sustainable pancit? Let's look at this diagram. To make it easier to understand the different technologies, I'm dividing the ingredients of pancit in 3 different groups: the vegetables, the proteins, which include milk, egg and meat, and the seafoods. Let's talk first about the traditional way of producing the food that goes into pancit. To produce vegetables, we use the traditional agriculture that requires a large amount of water, and we have to risk the chemical product runoffs that pollute our rivers and oceans. To produce proteins today, we use animal farms, which also requires a large amount of water, and it can be a source of methane gas emissions. And we have a problem of animal cruelty. For example, when raising a chicken for egg production, all baby male chickens are simply killed because they can't be used for meat production. There are different species of chicken used for meat production. To produce seafood today, we rely mostly on fishing, which results in the reduction of the biodiversities in the oceans and littering the dangerous items such as nets. All of these are not sustainable. We need to migrate a better way of producing food. A sustainable way is shown on the right side of this diagram. For each one of the food areas, I have done a series of prototypes and research resulting on the details I'm providing here. For vegetables, I have created a series of prototypes that integrates modern food production methods such as aquaponics, hydroponics, microgreens, and sprouting with green technology such as solar power generation and water collection from the air, which makes the whole solution sustainable, using only 10% of the water, eliminating chemical product runoffs. For proteins such as milk, egg, and meat, we need to migrate to a technology called precision fermentation. Fermentation is used already for centuries to create products such as wine. Precision fermentation is more controlled process used today by pharmaceutical industry, where they genetically engineered bacteria or yeast is created and kept in a controlled environment to produce the desired vaccine or medicine. The same can be applied to food such as milk, egg, and meat. With precision fermentation, there is much less greenhouse gas emissions and there is no animal cruelty because there is no animal used. For seafood, it is important to migrate ocean farms, but in a sustainable way. Ocean farms has a high concentration of animals and they are focused on only one species. My recommendation is to use a natural ecosystem, which is composed of series of species that can benefit from each other. For example, we can produce quickly the phytoplankton, which is responsible today for 40% of all carbon sequestration. If we use cells which feeds on the phytoplankton and create a very dense fecal pellets, they can be used as a very efficient carbon sequestration engine. If we integrate bottom feeders such as shrimp and crabs and water filters such as oysters and mussels, we can create a diverse ecosystem that not only can feed us, but it will remove the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, reducing the dangers of global warming. I initially said this work has been done with 4 students from the Tagaytay City Special Education Center. They helped me complete this project with their really amazing drawings to show the ingredients of the Pancit, as you can see here. Thank you students from the Tagaytay City Special Education Center in the Philippines, and I thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much for that very insightful presentation on a very creative and innovative way to produce our favorite food in the Philippines. We're going to reserve questions later. We're moving on to a yummy recipe from one of our presenters here. I believe the next one is Philip or Tywin. Who wants to go first? Tywin? All right. So you can also share just a bit about yourself as well.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Tan Lincoln Bugayong and I'm from the Philippines and this is my presentation. So this is my potato pizza. My pizza is not high in calories, fat, and sodium. And here are the ingredients. I have ham, tomatoes, green bell pepper, mashed potatoes, and mozzarella cheese. So here's how I make it. I boil the potatoes and then mash them. Then I create it into a circle. Then I'll cut ham, tomatoes, and green bell pepper, and then I'll place them all over the dough. Then I will get mozzarella cheese and sprinkle it all over the potatoes. And then I'll cook it in a pan, and this is the result. So I would just like to talk about sustainable cooking. Sustainable cooking is all about choosing nutritious foods that are affordable, and this will help reduce malnutrition. Being innovative in cooking limits the consumption of meat and fish to protect biodiversity. By using this technique in cooking, it saves energy, reduces water usage, and conserves natural resources. To achieve food sustainability, it is essential that we reduce rate consumption and food waste. And this is a video of my pizza when it's cooking. So this is what it looks like when it's cooking. You might try to start feeling hungry. You might be feeling hungry. So thank you for listening to my presentation. And I would just like to say, everything comes from God. And doing sustainable cooking is a blessing. It helps us to achieve SDG number 2, zero hunger. Because choosing healthy food, reducing the portion sizes of food, and using leftovers helps in stopping world hunger. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Tywin. That is just looking so delicious. And yes, you have made us hungry. Thank you for that. So next
you.
we have Philip. Yeah, just to remind everyone, some of you have a presentation, some of you just have your recipe video, and all of that is just really a mix of it's a festival of food. So it doesn't really matter whether what you have is a presentation or a recipe video. Philip, would you like to share your food innovation? And also don't forget to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Philip, and I want to use my love for the kitchen to create fun, healthy, and sustainable food. Today, I'm going to share my idea for tomato roll-ups, a tasty, affordable way to fight food waste while making something easy and delicious. So what are tomato roll-ups? They are an affordable, nutritious, and sustainable snack made by blending tomatoes with spices and dehydrating them until they turn into a chewy, leather-like texture. You can eat them as roll-ups or dissolve them in boiling water to make a flavorful soup base. They're perfect for camping, school snacks, and emergency food storage because they're lightweight and last for months. Tomato roll-ups have many cool benefits. They're packed with vitamins and antioxidants and fiber for sustained health. They require minimal ingredients and effort, and they're made from widely available low-cost ingredients. And they work as a snack, soup base, or ingredient in meals for various dietary needs. They store well for months without spoilage, and they're lightweight and easy to store, perfect for survival kits and food security efforts. Tomato roll-ups help the planet and people. If farmers have too many tomatoes, instead of throwing them away, they can turn them into healthy snacks for people who need food. I could even team up with non-government organizations to donate them. Tomatoes are full of vitamins and antioxidants, keeping people strong and energized. Adding things like moringa or chia seeds makes them even healthier. Its long shelf life ensures food security, aligning with United Nations SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, which focuses on reducing food waste and promoting sustainable practices. By turning surplus tomatoes into fruit leather, individuals contribute to a circular economy, supporting both environmental and food sustainability. Making tomato roll-ups is super simple. First, you chop up some tomatoes, blend them with spices, spread this mixture thinly onto parchment paper on a tray, then dry it out for 1 to 2 days or speed it up with a dehydrator or oven at low heat. Peel and cut and roll the leather into strips, then store in an airtight container so it can last up to 2 months. I have big ideas for the future of tomato roll-ups. I want to create new flavors, like maybe a protein-packed version for athletes. I dream of working with farmers so they can sell excess tomatoes instead of letting them go to waste, and I hope to partner with non-government organizations to provide roll-ups for schools and communities in need. Food waste is a huge problem, but small ideas like turning extra tomatoes into snacks can make a big difference. If you use smart recipes, sustainable packaging, and farmer partnerships, we can reduce food waste, help people, and take care of the planet, all while making something delicious. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Philip. That's really interesting. And I wonder how it tastes. I'm curious to taste your final recipe. Send some over here. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have two more, and these are both vegetarian recipes. And Maria will be sharing with us her healthy tofu okoy. So Maria, I'm not sure if you have a presentation, but don't forget to tell us a little bit about yourself, and you could share with us your recipe.
Hi, I'm Maria Coral B. Pasco, a 10-year-old grade 4 student at Prince of Peace Integrated School. Filipinos really enjoy eating okoy with vinegar. I decided to make this dish because ingredients are easy to find and can be bought anywhere. I made I made veggie tofu okoy because it's healthy and some kids don't like small shrimps. I choose tofu because it's soft and easy to chew, especially for kids like me. I also added vegetables like eggplant, squash, kangkong, and spring onions. These veggies are healthy and help make our body strong.
Thank you. Will you be playing the video or should I share it?
Play the video on your side.
All right. Give me a moment.
Hi guys, I'm Maracoral B. Pasco from the Philippines. Our recipe for today is veggie tofu okoy. So this is our ingredients that we're gonna use. We have tofu, onion and garlic, pumpkin, eggplant, and egg, onion, spring, and kangkong. And we also need black pepper and salt to taste. So we're gonna put all of the ingredients in this big bowl. We're gonna put it on the big bowl one moment. And we also need flour to make it sticky. Mix until the ingredients are combined. And let's put flour now. And we need to add ground pepper and salt to taste. And let's add a little bit of water so the flour can stick. Once we mix our ingredients, we have to open the stove, but we need help from our parents. We need to add a little oil. We need to preheat the oil. Once the oil is heated, we have to put the stove a little low fire. And let's add the ingredients. We need to wait for the vegetable to cook so we can flip the okoy. This is our veggie tofu okoy, and it's good with vinegar garlic.
Very nice, very nice. So I really want to try that as soon as we get enough vegetables for that recipe, and we'll have our kids try that too. Thank you so much, Maria. And last but not the least, we have Jaziana. Zia, would you like to introduce yourself and share just a little bit like why you chose this recipe?
I chose this recipe because we don't have enough ingredients, so we choose this recipe, and it's a healthy viand.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaziana Drill Pidi Guzman, but you can call me Zia. Today, I will share a recipe called vegetarian caldereta. Me and my family are practicing a plant-based diet, so I'll share to you the simple and healthy recipe. These are the ingredients: garlic, onions, red bell peppers, potatoes, carrots, chickpeas, tofu, tomato sauce, pineapple chunks, soy sauce, white or brown sugar, and water. First, heat a pan with oil. Put the onions in a pan, then mix for a few seconds. Then add the garlic and mix until slightly brown. Next, add the red bell peppers, then mix again. After mixing it well, add the tofu and mix. Next, pour a tiny amount of soy sauce, then mix until it's well combined. After that, add the potatoes and then mix it well. Next, add the carrots and mix again. Next, add the chickpeas, then mix. After that, put in the pineapple chunks. For more flavoring, add in some black pepper seasoning and then mix. After that, add in the tomato sauce and mix again until the tomato sauce is well combined. Next, add the sugar and mix it also. Make sure it is fully combined. After that, add some water to make it less dry, then stir until the caldereta is slightly soupy. And there, I hope you enjoyed the recipe I shared.
Thank you so much, Zia. So it's lunchtime there in the Philippines. How are you? Have you eaten your lunch? Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually afternoon, right? It's 5:40. It's lunchtime here in Jeddah. It's actually 12:40 here in Jeddah, and we haven't even had um, our lunch yet. So it was really mouth-watering to see all those food recipes that you had. So I'm not sure if Philip also did you also make a video of how you made it? The recipe itself? No, it's okay.
No, I haven't.
Oh, so just before we have our question and answer, I'm going to share now the um video of how Kinako Crunch was made, or I mean the recipe itself. Of course, there's some secret ingredients in there, so we can't share everything. But I hope that this also is something that would interest you.
What if, during tough times, each bite gave strength and hope? Inspired by the Philippine government's initiative to create healthier food aid, we set out to reimagine emergency food. Kinako Crunch. Hello, Kinako Crunch fam! Now I'll show you how we make our Kinako Crunch. First off, it's whole wheat flour. Unlike white flour, it has more fiber and nutrients, keeping you fuller for longer. Next, soy flour, because it's a good source of plant protein. Then, coconut oil, which binds things together, and also for extra nutrients. Now we make it. Like with any baking recipe, we put the dry ingredients separately from the wet ingredients. And just whisk it. Next, the wet ingredients. Okay, now we put them together. Now we're gonna touch the food. We will wear some food grade gloves. Definitely make sure it's food grade. Get the dough. I'm gonna get the yay! Ta-da! We are now using a silicone mat as we will roll it, so we can cut it into cute little flowers. Do it as soft as I can. Actually, I can do it pretty hard. Not too much because we need yeah. Now it looks like a Kinako Crunch Island. Yeah, it does. Welcome to Kinako Crunch Island. I want to land on it. Now we'll have to just eat. How eat? Yeah. We have our first Kinako Crunch. Yippee! Nope. Okay, so as my brother is making the cookies, I will preheat the oven. Now now that we're done cutting all the cookies out, we will put it in the oven. Yeah. For 10 minutes. That's not a lot of time. Yeah. Put it. Bye-bye.
A few moments later.
And this is the draft for our packaging. And since this was a reimagined emergency food aid, I made the packaging cute to uplift spirits. And now, put the cookies in. 1, 2, and the final one, 3. Yay! Thank you for watching! Bye-bye!
All right, so that is our Kinako Crunch recipe. And so there's a lot of variety in the food innovations and recipes that we have presented here today. There's dessert, there's snacks, there's viand for eating with rice. Okoy can both be with rice or by itself, right? And of course, pancit is something that we have in every festival, every birthday. There is always pancit. Do you have any questions for any of our presenters? Like you could ask each other about your food recipes right now. All you have to do is just open your mic and speak out.
By the way, I have a question for everyone who has the cooking, who cooked everything. Everyone who cooked all the recipes. Where can you buy the food products? Where can you buy them?
Okay.
This
For
question
me,
is for anyone.
soon,
It's for
maybe
anyone.
around June, I would be selling the Kinako Crunch in my school. Yeah. In the Philippines, it's in PPIS, Prince of Peace Integrated School Incorporated.
Oh, okay. And if someone wants to cook it, then where will they buy the ingredients?
I'm not sure yet because for the ingredients that I used, some of the ingredients we bought online because I'm still in Jeddah. So I'm planning to really scale the project in the Philippines. So I'll figure that out once I'm there.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
I would like to just jump in for a second. I do not want to buy any of the food that I saw. None of this food do I want to buy. What I want you to do is to come to my house and cook it. So you are all invited at any time to come to the United States and stay at my house. And I won't charge you anything for sleeping at my house. The only thing you have to do is cook every day, all the time. So you are all invited, every one of you.
Okay, so if I'm going, I'm gonna need to buy potatoes, green bell pepper, tomatoes, and ham, and mozzarella cheese once again.
We have all of that. We have all of that. We have the pots, we have pans, we have stove. What we don't have are wonderful cooks. So you are all invited at any time. Thank you.
You heard that. You're all invited to the United States to cook for Jake. I have a question for the sustainable pancit. This was a project with Tagaytay students, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Have they made the prototype, like cooked a version of it, or is it still in process?
So the pancit is something that everybody is well aware of. In the Philippines, as you know, that's a dish that everyone have seen many times a year. So the work that we did with the Tagaytay City Special Education Center is mostly for the students to be aware of the ingredients that goes into the pancit and how they're actually produced. So Nicole provided mentoring in terms of what are the technologies that needed to be used or could be used instead of the technology that we use today. But they also contribute for that, doing all those drawings that you all saw during the final seconds of the video. So this was a joint work between Nicole and the students with special needs. So that's an important part of the total solution. And what was important is really that and the students basically sort of going or doing that because of competition. So I want to congratulate Sienna, for example, because by doing these type of competitions, it helps students basically go beyond themselves, and participating into competitions like those are really, really important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Speaking of competitions, I know these are really amazing ideas. And if you would like to get some, tips, or if you want to find out what are the competitions that are available that you may be able to join and get grants even, you can get in contact with me or Mr. Ricardo Haragutchi. They have Innovation International, and they share a whole lot of innovation events that you could join either as individuals or collaborating with Nicole or other students as well. So because the ideas that you have, they need support from organizations, and they help fund these kinds of innovations for them to be actually products that can be found in the market. Right? So Tywin, you're raising your hand again.
Oh, I would just like to ask Philip, your tomato jerky, I think it's good. But why did you choose this ingredient? Why didn't you choose any other vegetable like potatoes, oranges, mangoes, or broccoli? Why you choose tomato out of all of them?
Because tomato is a very inexpensive and affordable and widely available fruit,
Oh, okay. Thank you for the answer.
Thank you, Philip. For Maria, do you have other versions of this opoy, or is this the kind of food really that you cook, this opoy version?
This is this is the only version.
Great. I know that you also had a different idea before, but you chose opoy. Can you share us like what other healthy food recipes you also like to cook? Okay. If you don't have an answer, maybe Zia has an answer aside, because I know that you mentioned your family is on a plant-based diet, and that's really amazing. I know it's kind of difficult to do that, especially when going out, because all the options that are available, especially for fast food, is meat-based. So, do you always cook food in your house and just bring it whenever you going outside?
There are plant-based options outside too. And some of the recipes I like to cook, I love to bake plant-based cookies, cupcakes, like that. I love to bake. I love to bake too.
Very good. So, how old are you right now?
9 years old.
And how long have you been baking and cooking?
Hmm. For 2 years.
It's good to know. I think that I want everyone to also try and answer that question. Try to remember when you started cooking. At what age did you try to start helping out in the kitchen?
I think when I was a baby, I already started helping out in the kitchen. Yes, that's true. When I was a baby, I always went to my mom and asked, "Can I help, please?" And then she would always say yes, and I always help her in the kitchen.
I'm assuming you mean you're a toddler, not a newborn baby, right?
Yeah,
That
I'm a
you could
toddler. I'm a
already see.
toddler. I'm a toddler. Yeah, I was a toddler that time.
That's very interesting. How about Troy? Are you raising your hand?
Oh, okay. So I have a question for Tywin and his amazing pizza. Um, I was just wondering, you mentioned it's not high in calories, but mozzarella and ham are usually pretty dense in fats and sodium, isn't it? My question is, did you like use lighter versions, or was the focus more on portion control?
The focus was usually more on portion control. And the reason why I decided to use ham and also mozzarella cheese is because it saved time, but also it's very yummy and delicious. And and also we did not use high amounts of this I did not use high amounts of ham and mozzarella cheese so that it wouldn't be too high in calories and fats. And yeah, and it's also low carb. Mm. Thank you for the question.
Interesting. I wonder if our plant-based expert here do you have any ideas on maybe food substitutes and maybe even Mr. Haraguchi, because that's one thing that we know about sustainable food options. We moving away from too much meat is actually very helpful for it to be more sustainable and healthy. Do you have uh food innovative ideas for pizza as well, like replacing the ham with what?
I I have an interesting situation where Nicole has worked in a project, and she's replaced not in a pizza, but she replaced the milk that she had from a milk that is produced by regular call, and a milk that is produced by precision fermentation. So if I can show this 2 minutes video that she did this experience, uh, is it possible?
Yes, we still have 4 minutes, so you can share that.
Okay, let me share that presentation here. So she did that, but to replace milk.
Hi, my name's Nicole, and I'm going to show you how to make ice cream. So the first thing is to have 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of cream, and a half a cup of sugar. So what I'm going to do is put it into this container right here, mix it all up, and put it into this bag. As you can see here is the mixture with all the ingredients mixed together, and so I'm going to simulate an ice cream maker using this ice and putting into this big bag right here, and then putting this mixture in the bag and then shake it all up. So I left the ice cream in the freezer overnight, and so I'm going to put it into this bowl and try it. So I'm going to open this, put it into here. Oh. And then I'm going to leave some for later, and then I'm going to add these sprinkles. You can add any toppings you want, but I'm just going to add these. And now I'm going to try it. It's so good! Let me tell you about the science in my cooking. The milk that I use for the ice cream is an animal-free milk. No, it's not a vegetable-based milk. It is a real milk produced by precision fermentation. On precision fermentation, the final product is created by microbes, fungi, or yeast. These are genetically engineered to create a specific product out of sugar. All of this is done in a controlled environment called bioreactor. This is already well-known technology for pharmaceuticals, but they already have the potential of producing milk, egg, and meat. Precision fermentation reduces water waste, reduces the land of size required, reduces the greenhouse gas emissions, and eliminates animal cruelty. Thank you so much for listening.
I like the name bored cow. I think the cows will be bored because they're not going to be making milk anymore. We're just fermenting it. And maybe that could be, a possible eventual ingredient instead of mozzarella cheese, which is made from a bored cow mozzarella cheese.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing with us
Thank
that
you.
video. All right, so we're actually nearing the end of our time. It has been wonderful to share this time with you all. Do you have anything else that you want to say before we move on to our next presentation?
I just had a quick question for Mr. Haragutchi.
Yes.
What makes this precision fermentation better than making a more humane way of milking cows? And is it easier than farming?
So good. The good answer for this is the final product is the same. So there's no difference between a meat, an egg, or a milk produced by animals or produced by precision fermentation because it's the same process. They basically use microbes, they use yeast, and this is actually what happens in the actual production of the animal itself. So that's the good answer is that there is no difference in the final product. For you, it will look like egg, milk, or meat, but the difference is now that you're not using the animal, and the animal is a larger consumer of resources. They produce, in the cow's case, they could produce a lot of methane, and there is a lot of animal cruelty that you see. For example, a lot of farms use very small cages. Chickens, for example, they are killed if they are male when they are basically going to produce eggs. Just because the male doesn't produce eggs, they kill all the male ones. So this is something that will be better for the world. It will be more sustainable, but the end result is the same. There is no difference between these products.
Great. Thank you all very much. This is wonderful. Allyra, you have a wonderful team that you have collected here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, students, for joining us, and we'll see you next time. And we're going to argue.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.